When's the last time your financial advisor asked for your tax return? Heck, when's the last time they went over your tax return with you? The answer should be, well, gosh, Mike, they do that with me every single year, right? That's what the answer should be.
Right.
I mean, it's their job not just to help you figure out how to make money with your investments, but it's also their job to help you figure out, well, how do we make sure you keep what you made? It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep.
Welcome back to Retirement Today. I'm your co-host, Zach Holcomb, and alongside me, we have certified financial planner and founder and president of Centennial Advisors, Mr. Michael Reese. Mike, today's show, we're talking about the questions you absolutely have to answer when it comes to your retirement planning.
Yeah, that's right. There's really 4 questions that you want to have answered, and these are simple questions, right? They're yes, no questions.
Right.
In the last segment, we were talking about Bobby Bonilla, right? How he guaranteed his income in his retirement. And really the question that we asked is, do you have a plan in place to replace your paycheck when you retire?
Right.
It's that simple. And a plan is not a spreadsheet there. That's hope. Do you have a plan that's going to work in both good markets and bad? And we did talk a little bit about if you say no to that question, plus the next 3 questions we're going to ask as the show goes on tonight. If you say, oh boy, I don't know if I can answer that one yes, even if you're unsure, we have a class. We have it coming up. It's called Retiring Well University. Now, this is one of these online classes. And here's what's cool. It's on Zoom.
Yes.
And it's live.
Yes.
So it's going to be me with you live for 2 hours, like 6 or 6:30?
6:30 to 8:30.
So it's 6:30 to 8:30. By the way, heads up, it usually goes a little bit longer because people ask questions, right?
Sure.
So it goes from 6:30, call it 8:30, maybe a little bit longer, on Tuesday night starting July 20th. And then the following Tuesday will be part 2, July 27th. So it's part 1, part 2.
Yep.
We're going to cover these questions and more. And it's going to be great because it's going to be just me talking live with you. We'll be hanging out in a Zoom room together. We'll be live. I'll cover a section, and then I'll open it up for Q&A.
Yep.
I'll cover another section. I'll open it up for Q&A. And we've done this in the past. It's been super popular with people. So it's really comfortable. You sit in your home. You just do it. It's great. You watch me, kind of make fun of myself, and we have a great time. But you learn a lot, too,
Yep.
and it's really, really valuable time. It's time well spent. So if you want to sign up for that, we're doing this absolutely free. You just go to retiringwelluniversity.com. Is
That's
that right, Zach?
You got it.
Okay, retiringwelluniversity.com. All right, we want to dive into question number 2. So what's the second question that you have to answer, that you want to be able to say yes to in order to have that complete financial security in retirement?
Now, Mike, I'm sure you know the answer to this one because this is on your favorite topic.
Oh.
Do you know why families end up in higher tax brackets in retirement or why they can?
Why can someone end up in a higher tax bracket in retirement?
Correct.
Okay, so the question you want to ask yourself, do you know why you might end up in a higher tax bracket in retirement? And by the way, this question, we would even assume that tax rates don't go up.
Right.
Because if tax rates go up, then we all, oh boy. And by the way, you're right. You know what? I'm thinking about this. My pulse is starting to race. My face is probably getting a little red. For those of you watching the podcast, you're like, oh my God, there he goes again.
Starting to sweat. You're wearing the black shirt. We can't see it, though.
You can't see, though, because I'm wearing the black shirt so I can look a little skinnier on the podcast.
Yes.
This is actually another question that's related to this that you might ask yourself. Do you know what your year-by-year future tax liability is likely going to look like? That would be another way to ask the similar question,
Sure.
right? Because here's what I've learned over the years. I've been doing this for like 25 years. And whenever I give a presentation, like whether it's at a library or maybe a restaurant, a hotel, wherever it is, a live event, I like to ask the audience, I say, when's the last time your financial advisor or even your tax advisor showed you kind of a projection where it showed you year by year, here's what your tax liability is going to look like in the future if you just keep doing what you're doing now. right? And then you add it up. And like I did this the other day, I said, hey, let's add up all these taxes you're going to pay in retirement. It was $1.5 million.
It's a big number.
I mean, so you add it up and say, look, you live 30 years in retirement. You're projected to pay the IRS like $1.5 million. And P.S., that does not include the money that your kids would have to pay in tax when they inherit your IRA.
Right.
So $1.5 million over 30 years, that's a big number. When do you think most of those taxes were due?
Later.
Yeah, it was later in life when they were in their 80s. Why?
RMDs.
Why? RMDs. You know, I've heard Forbes. I think I read an article from Forbes one day. It called RMDs the weapons of mass financial destruction.
That's a mouthful right there. Yeah.
Basically, they're saying RMDs. And by the way, if you have IRAs, 401k, 403b, when you get later in life, those RMDs get to be huge. Mm-hmm. Huge. And here you are, you get these forced distributions. You're paying a boatload of tax. And not only are you paying the tax on the distribution that you're forced to take, even though you don't want to, you're paying more tax on your Social Security. You're paying more tax on capital gains. You're paying more tax on everything else. And that assumes they don't increase taxes. They increase taxes down the road. It's like, let's take a huge problem and just explode it and make it worse.
Right.
It is unbelievable the amount of tax you're likely going to pay when you get later in retirement. Now, this same family, by the way, with some simple strategies, I was able to show them, hey, look at this. You do this, this, and this. Instead of paying $1.5 million of tax, we can reduce that to below $1 million. Well, guess what? $1 million of tax in retirement still, and I hope I don't get bleeped here, but the word I would think of is it still stinks. I was going to use a different word. I know I would get bleeped out, so let's go with it's still not a happy thought.
Right.
It still is horrible. Mm-hmm. The problem that this couple had is, they've done a great job saving for retirement, so it's kind of where they were at, right? Mm-hmm. But, let's look at it from the other perspective. I sure as heck would rather give the IRS $1 million than $1.5 million.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right? Here's my question. My question is this. Do you know what your future tax projections look like? Do you know? Yes or no? Really simple. Do you know the tax road you're on? Do you know where you're heading? I know darn well what the answer is, by the way.
Most people are like, huh?
Yeah. Because it's like your financial advisor. When's the last time your financial advisor asked for your tax return? Heck, when's the last time they went over your tax return with you? The answer should be, well, gosh, Mike, they do that with me every single year, right? That's what the answer should be.
Right.
I mean, it's their job not just to help you figure out how to make money with your investments, but it's also their job to help you figure out, well, how do we make sure you keep what you made? It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. When's the last time your financial advisor went over your tax return with you? Where they reviewed, here's where you're at, and here's what we can do this year to help you. Here's how much in Roth conversion we should do this year, or here's a tax strategy we should use this year. Are they doing that every single year? Are they showing you, look, here's the road you're on. This is why we take these strategies, or why we utilize these strategies, so we can make the road you're on better. Is that a conversation you're having on an annual basis? If not, you got a problem.
Yep.
You got a big problem. I don't care. You might be 45 years old listening to the show. You still have that problem, because guess what? What's really cool is the younger you are, the smaller the steps you need to take in order to create huge benefits later in life. So you don't want to even ignore this when you're younger. This is an annual thing. So as you're listening, what's your tax road look like? Right? Do you know? If the answer is no, then I'm telling you, you need to sign up for Retiring Well University. And so I want to take a minute and talk about this a little bit, because I want it to be clear to you exactly what this is.
Right.
So here's what you do. You go to retiringwelluniversity.com. On the website, you can register. It's super easy, right, Zach? It's like, what is it, name and email or something?
Yeah, just basic contact information.
Simple stuff, name, email. you immediately get a confirmation. And in the confirmation, I'm assuming you'd have the Zoom link.
Correct.
And it's Tuesday night, July 20th.
Correct.
That's part one.
Yes.
And then part two is Tuesday, July 27th.
Correct. You got it.
That's really good for helping me with my calendar math there,
Right.
Zach. So
Yeah.
the 20th and the 27th
Yes.
in July. And it's from 6:30 at night to 8:30.
Yes.
May go a little bit longer than that. Sometimes it goes longer because in Retiring Well University, here's what I do. So this is something that normally what I've done historically, I'll do this in a college.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll go to maybe, Concordia, or I might go to, Southwestern University. But I would go to a college, an actual college,
Yes.
and I deliver a class live. Well, in 2020, we couldn't do that anymore. And we learned that actually it's a lot easier, more convenient to do these classes online.
Right.
Like do them live on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started doing that. It's been super popular. So what we do is we do these classes on Zoom. There might be 100 people in the room. It might be 50. There might be 200. Who knows? But anyway, there's usually a lot of people. And what I do is I teach, part of the topic in the class, and then I open it up for question and answer. So as you're sitting there, you're watching me teach a section. That might be like 30 minutes. And then I say, all right, let's open this baby up. Let's do Q&A. And Zach, I know you helped me organize all this, right?
Yep.
And then you just type in your question, and then I just start answering. And I want to answer about every question I can. Now, the purpose is I want you walking away from this saying, you know what? I now know the answer to these questions. I know how I'm going to replace my income. I know what I'm going to do about my tax situation and others that we're going to talk about tonight.
Yep.
But it's important that you know those answers. So again, it's retiringwelluniversity.com. You don't want to miss out. Hey, I see we're running up against the clock, so just go there now. retiringwelluniversity.com. Register. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Hi, and thanks for checking out Retirement Today. If you like the content we share on our channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can stay notified about all of our latest content and videos. Be sure to share all of our information with your friends and family as well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.